Yeah, y'all, what's really good? It's your boy Lamar. We chilling on a Saturday. Today being March 8th, 2025. I could not be more excited than to be with you here on a Saturday. As I told you and as I promised you, this would be just the kickoff of my podcast, Four Corners. One, two, three, four. Four corners. People ask me, well, why four corners? There's four things that I believe very, 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 very firmly convicted on the inside of me. And it is this. Number one, and maybe not necessarily in this order. Number one, you become like who you hang around. That's one of the corners. Number two, the music we listen to has such an effect and an influence on us, and we're going to dive into those things later on. Number three, the things that you watch on TV, the things that you watch via podcasts, via your favorite show. You know, we tend to binge shows and different things like that. We have our favorite actors and actresses and themes and different things that speak to us, speak volumes to us. And we can go way back depending on your age. Shows like Good Times and Laverne and Shirley and Three's Company, Three Stooges, cartoons, you name it. They have a very profound effect on us, whether we care to admit it or not. And lastly, and I guess I said no order in particular, but lastly, this might be the most important: what you learn inside of your home, depending on the type of home that you grew up in. I grew up in what we would call today a single parent home, where my mom was mom and dad to me. I could never, ever, 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 ever say I did not get every ounce of love possible. My mom did the best that she could. Try to talk to me about this and that and show me this and this example and that example. And I'm not saying my father was not in my life, but my mother and my father, maybe like you, were never married. They made us three beautiful children, me being the youngest of three. And so we lived predominantly with my mom. We lived with pops over the summer, but mom was mom and dad for me and to me for the most part. But I'll tell you this, it's never to discredit a mother, but a mother, we're only going to go so far, because when it comes to raising a young man who's going to be a grown man, that's where that male figure, that father, that mentor, or whoever in our lives would definitely play that role. And so what type of home you grew up in? Some people grew up in a very abusive home, and I'm very sorry to hear that, because I know that has certainly affected you in ways today that you may not even care to speak about. You try not to show, you try not to let people know this and to know that. But believe it or not, the type of home that we grow up in, the environment, everything that goes on inside the home, domestic things, whether it be a home of love, you could grow up in a Christian home, or a very religious home, or a home where religion or whatever didn't play a part of anything. But somehow, some way, out of those four corners, you shaped your world. And you're shaping your world, and you're trying to make sense out of some things that don't make sense, won't make sense, some things that have happened tragically, some blessings, and great things that have happened. I'm sure all of us can look back at some point in our childhood and think about some things that happened that are wonderful, and you can say to yourself, man, had I not had this or had that or had this experience or had that experience, I may not be who I am today. And so Four Corners is exactly that. Every single thing that we talk about, I said we, because it's going to be interactive. Everything that we talk about on these podcasts, somewhere, somehow, and some way, is going to fall within those parameters, those four corners. Remember, who we hang around. You become like who you hang around. You hang around someone angry all the time, some of that stuff might rub off on you. You hang around someone that's hopeful and optimistic and joyful, that's going to rub off on you. The music you listen to. I grew up a hip-hop head. The whole Run DMC era. All that good stuff. I grew up dancing and rapping and freestyling and all that good stuff. That's why your boys are recording artists today. Got some music out there. What is this CD? This is, I think this is my sophomore LP called All Terrain. This is my first CD album, Rated R, and then my third one, which is called Side View, is really getting at people, the church, the streets, the world. We claim we love young people and we have a heart to see the world change, but we stand from the side and we watch and we don't get involved. We spectate instead of participating. Your boy's also an author, okay? It's my book, my first book, Unscripted Transparency, the Lamar Callahan story. This is available on Amazon. My second book, and this is where the podcast comes in, my second book is called Four Corners, Intentional Exposure. Man, that's deep. You better believe your bottom dollar is deep. Four Corners, Intentional Exposure. There are things that we've been exposed to in life, good, bad, happy, sad, that has certainly played a role and an impact in our lives. I tell people this, and I'm not tooting my horn and all that other stuff. There are people that have podcasts and talk show hosts and all that and get paid millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to talk. I am hoping to speak. Oh boy. There are people that get paid millions of dollars to talk. I am hoping to speak. I want to speak into your life. I want to speak into your situation. I want to speak into your circumstances. Young ladies, I want to talk to you about that young man that absolutely broke your heart. Young man, I want to talk to you about that young lady that absolutely broke your heart. You don't know what to do. You're trying to put together the pieces. Again, you're trying to make sense of things that don't make sense. I guarantee you this, from what you learned in the home, the view of a relationship or the lack thereof, how you saw your mother love your father, how you saw your father love your mother, how your mother loved you, young ladies, how your mother loved you, young men, how your father loved you, young men, how your father loved you, young ladies, has everything to do with how you view and shape your relationships. Tell me if you've ever said this: I know one way I won't be. I won't be like my mother. I won't be like my father. They this, they that, they this, they that. Well, I guarantee you now, there's a little bit of you, a little bit of your mom on the inside of you, a little bit of Pop Dukes on the inside of you, or maybe 60, 40, 80, 20, however you do your math. I went to Brockton High School, so chill out if my numbers are off or whatever, okay? But Four Corners, man, this is the intro to the podcast, because I want people to know what to expect. I want people to know when you listen to this. I want people to know when you write me via email and you give me suggestions or different things that you want to hear and that you want to talk about. I warrant your feedback. You guys can hit me up on the email at lamarsvoices@gmail.com. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Lamar's Voices Boston. I'm trying to be that voice out of Boston that people listen and hear and they say, yo, Lamar Jamal was talking about some real stuff. One thing that I'm hoping, and this is what I hope would separate me from other people, and not that I'm better than them, because I'm not, but I endeavor to be transparent. Listen, I've blown it. I've absolutely messed it up. I've made mud of my life in different areas. I've always been good with finances. I've always kept myself in shape as an athlete and this, that, and the other. Still play basketball with the fellas at the Y and weightlift and all that other stuff. But relationships have been the Achilles heel for your boy. I've been through it all. I've been through marriage. I've been through divorce. It's messy. It's ugly. People get hurt. Families got hurt. I've been on both sides. I've had people lie to me, cheat on me. I've lied. I've cheated. I've done it all. Okay, and I'm not proud of it, but why I'm letting you know this is because I'm qualified to help you today. I'm qualified to come as a voice to say, you know what, the grass is not greener on the other side. I'm that voice to come and tell you young men and to tell you married men, just because you found someone that you think may be, better in bed or this, that, and the other than your wife is, and then you want to up and leave your family and go to this other woman, and then she ends up dying later. Okay, and you lost all types of respect and credibility with your children, with your family, with your church, with your job, or what have you. It is not worth it. Four Corners, the podcast with Lamar Jamal, I'm guarantee you, is gonna be a ride a bumpy ride. Listen to me. You will disagree with me, and I will disagree with you. That's the beauty of it, is where we can sit and we can talk about some things. Man, one thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to sit and debate religion with you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to sit and go back and forth and try to convince you to think like me, convince you to act like me, convince you to talk like me, because you're your own individual. But my responsibility and part of my calling is to give back, because at one time in my life I was a taker, hurting people, hurt people. You've heard it before. You've been one of the hurt ones who've been hurt by someone who was hurting, and you've also been the perpetrator, the one on the other end, that you've hurt someone because you had an off day, an off week, an off month, which leads me into one of my points. I never discount or discredit something that someone has gone through. Never, 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 never. Because repeat this, you walk by someone every single day, you say good morning, they just look at you and don't say anything. You don't know what happened the last time someone said good morning to them and then they got robbed. You see someone coming to the JOB, you're looking at them because they're downcast, and you're like, what's your problem? You're not your normal self today. You don't know the diagnosis that they were just given by the doctor just because they haven't told you, okay? You intersect with someone on the streets, road rage. I've dealt with road rage and still have to guard myself. You get into a situation, a confrontational situation with someone, and they clap and you want to clap back. All of a sudden, bullets are flying and someone gets hurt or someone's dead. Think about those things. We don't often have that opportunity to think about things before they happen. Sometimes we fly by the seat of our pants, and sometimes we just kind of go and we dive into situations. We treat people certain ways, we act certain ways, and you never know that one person, man. When I say to someone, yo, what's good? How you doing today? I actually mean it. I don't want you to say, oh, I'm not doing that good, and you're like, oh, that's good. No, it's not good. You didn't hear the person. You ask the person, hey, how you doing today? And they say, I'm not doing that well. And you ask that person, well, what's good? You know, you need somebody to talk to. You might think that sounds cheesy. I believe that everybody on the face of this earth, black, white, Mexican, Bayesian, Haitian, Malaysian, Caucasian, I believe that everybody needs somebody to talk to at one time or another. Think about it. Pregnant mother, you're dealing with things, you're having a complicated pregnancy, you might not even know who the father is. You need somebody to talk to. There's someone that has been in your shoes. There's someone in your shoes. You as a father, okay, you're not ready to be a father, you thinking you want to be a father, you need somebody to talk to. The parenthood groups that I've done, the fatherhood groups, and the amount of young men in particular, because young cats, young dudes are immature. Let's just call it what it is. It's a proven fact that ladies, young girls, whatever, they're probably 3 years ahead as far as maturity wise. I know that might not be popular with you fellas, but it is what it is. You get a 23-year-old young lady, okay, and a 26-year-old dude, she might have more going on for herself via her education, a job, a career, etc., the way she handles her things. And so, you know, everybody needs somebody to talk to, depending on where you're at in life, depending on what's going on, and more than anything, depending on where you want to go. I'm not everything that I hope to be, but I'm not who I was last year. I'm not who I was last month. I'm not who I was last week. I've learned a lot from my mistakes and my choices. Everything's not a mistake. Some things are just poor choices. Let's just own it and call it what it is. And so this is what the Four Corners podcast is about. I am certainly working my way toward picking back up with speaking live. I have been a speaker for the past over 2 decades, man, and I've spoken in everywhere: the church, the street, the public school, the private school, peace rallies, youth rallies, college and career, fatherhood groups, you name it. There's a wealth of resource inside of your boy here, and I want you to pull that out of me. I do have a mission in life, and I have a mission statement, and my mission is simply this: to challenge all, to inspire some, and to win one. Challenge all, inspire some, win what? Win one. You might say, well, what's behind that? I want to challenge all of you because sometimes we get let off the hook too easy. Sometimes, usually, I will say this, nothing in life worth having and keeping is going to come without a fight. A relationship, a job, your health, your environment. I want a peaceful environment. At this place in my life, all that fighting and all, I done got all that stuff out of my system. I realize that there are other ways to handle conflict and handle confrontation. I want peace in my life. I'm quick to diffuse something if I see that something can break out between me and someone. I'm quick to discern and figure out if me and that person's personalities will clash. We don't get along like that. And so I know how to keep it moving. I know how to keep it pushing and be respectful. I'll say what's good, how you doing, good morning, or whatever. Hopefully that we're even at that place. But if we're not even allowed to do that, then that's cool too. Okay, but my environment is so key. Okay, so I want to challenge all to say to you, there's a different way. I didn't necessarily say a better way, but there's a different way. There's a different way for you to handle that situation. And you know what that situation is when you know that person gets under your skin and right, you ready to let them have it. You ready to you ready to throw ones, you ready to let it fly. You ready just to kind of give them a piece of your mind, tell them where they can go and how to stuff it and all that other stuff. Okay, but I want to challenge all of you that that's not always the best way to handle situations. Okay, there's a time where you and a person can sit down if possible and have a reasonable conversation. You can agree to disagree. You can also take, if they say, the higher road and tell someone, yo, I was wrong, my B. Could have handled that differently, could have said something differently, and then all of that wasted energy wouldn't be wasted energy. It'd be something that you can use on something else. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you to go further. I want to challenge you to go higher, to go deeper, because there is more. There's more than what you're experiencing in life. There's more people for you to bless and to touch. There's more money for you to make. There's more people, okay, for you to affect change in their world. There are more things for you to do and accomplish than what you presently have. I've committed myself to be a lifetime learner. I can learn from a child. I've certainly learned from my beautiful children who are young adults now and have both graduated college, and they're out in the world trying to put things together and make sense of things and leave a legacy and make their mark. Okay, but I've learned from them. I learn from them every day. Different things they say to me, innovative ways that they have come to me with creativity and different things like that. And they say, Dad, you should try this or this or this or this. Okay, the inspiration. I want to inspire some. Everybody doesn't want to be inspired. I'm telling you this, and you know it. There are those that are comfortable where they are. There are those that don't want you to try to correct certain behavioral patterns. There are those that don't want you telling them about themselves. Oh, I got this. I know that. Well, really? How's that working for you? You ain't getting anywhere. You ain't touching nobody's life. No one. Me, Lamar, Jamal, I want people's lives to be better because I'm in it. And so who are you inspiring today? Who's looking at you and saying, yo, he got it going on. She got it going on. And I'm not just talking about the athlete and the actor and the singer and all that other stuff. Yeah, they're out there. They're in the spotlight. They're in the limelight and all of that. I'm talking about the everyday Joe or the everyday Jane that you see every day just walking by, okay? And then you get to know them over a process of time. And you look and you notice, man, there's something different about them. You know that. It's called an aura. People have an aura on them, okay? And I want to have the type of aura that draws people to me. I want, through my accomplishments and my failures, I don't want you to just to like me and love me because I'm doing this good or doing that good, or I said this good, or I didn't. No, I want you to look at me and say, Lamar, I appreciate you trying to inspire me by telling me your story, and you told me that you failed and that you could have done things differently, and if given the opportunity, you'll do them differently this time. So who are you inspiring? Challenge all. Inspire some. Win one. I was that one. I don't know if you're anything like me. I was a super curious person. Not just a teen, not just an adolescent, not just an adult, not just a kid. I was always curious, always asking questions. But why? But why? Someone tell you don't do this, but why? You can't just tell me don't go there. You can't just tell me don't eat this. You can't just tell me don't smoke this. You can't just tell me don't hang around with this group of people. But why? Tell me what's on the other side. Let me know that at the end of the tunnel, the train is coming, okay? And you are going to mess some things up in your life, and you're going to mess some things up in other people's lives. Tell me why. Be open and be transparent with me. So challenge all. Inspire some. Win one. That is going to be my purpose, to come with you. I didn't say come at you, to come with you, to come up alongside of you with this podcast that will be happening at this point every Saturday. I hope to have it Saturday in the morning, 7 o'clock, so that you can have something to listen to after a long week, or maybe the beginning of a long weekend, depending on what's going on. I want you to always be encouraged by the podcast. I don't want you walking away feeling like you got beat up. However, if there's some things that said that challenge you, inspire you, and make you say, you know what, I want to be better, I want to do better, I can do better, I'm capable of it, then I'm doing my part. Again, I want your feedback. Lamar'sVoices@gmail.com. Please, no hate mail. You're going to disagree with me. You don't even have to like me. If what you hear me saying you think is booty, or get out of here with that stuff, L. We don't want to hear none of that. Then so be it. Don't tune in. Don't listen. But if it's something that you hear, man, and young lady, something that you can grab a hold to, I'm asking you to grab it, run with it. We're going to talk about it all, y'all. We're going to talk about relationships, why they work, why they don't. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about parenting. I don't debate politics. I know enough and pray enough to know that we need help in our nation, from the highest point of our government all the way down. Okay, we need help with those who have authority over us. Okay, leaders, political figures, people that you don't see, but all of a sudden different things are implemented, and laws are saying of this and saying of that, that you have to do this, you have to do that. We got to pray today. The things that they're teaching our children, the things that they are implementing inside of the schools, and everything else. Okay, I don't want to get into no heavy debate about those things. If they come up and you ask my opinion, and this, that, and the other, I'll offer it to you. But for the most part, as I said, we want some real content that young men and young ladies can listen to, that you can save yourself a lifetime of heartache from people like me who've lived your life, people like me who have made what I call dummy choices, knucklehead choices, that you can learn from people like me who have been a multi-business owner for years. I've owned houses, plural. I understand the process of all of that thing. I've lost businesses, I've lost houses, and so understanding that there is hope on the other side of those things. Your life is not over until you stop breathing. So each day that you wake up is an opportunity that you can say, God, help me, because I need to get some things right and I need to make some adjustments. It's your boy Lamar Jamal. Remember, hit me up on the email, lamarsvoices@gmail.com. This is the Four Corners podcast. My book, Four Corners, is in its editing stage right now. I want to give a shout out to my editor, Rachel Colby, who has been absolutely amazing and has challenged me as a writer, to know who you're targeting, engage your audience, and just do some research, and not just to put things down that sound good, and not that I was heading that direction anyhow, but she definitely challenged me to step up higher than I did in my first book. Unscripted Transparency, the Lamar Callahan story. This was me having to make amends with people, because your boy Lamar, boy was off the hook in some certain areas. No nonsense, very self-centered, and my ego was the size of the moon, and just thinking no one can tell you anything, no one can show you anything, and as a result of that, sadly, hurt a lot of people. Bad relationships, a trail of bad relationships behind me. And a lot of this stuff was years and years ago, but you learn some things along the way. And so, my book, Unscripted Transparency, the Lamar Callahan story, is me making amends and asking people, hey, forgive me, I was off, I was wrong. mistreated you, could have done things differently, but I've also blessed an awful, 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 awful lot of people, and I've helped a lot of people. I've helped a lot of young men to get back, acclimated back into society and off the streets through one-on-one mentoring, and then even in um, my career path, which is working with at-risk incarcerated youth, both male and female. Um, this is real to me. This is an opportunity for me to give back, and I'm asking you that if we can go forward together, then I know that I'm doing my part. Give me some feedback. Lamar'sVoices@gmail.com. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Lamar's Voices Boston. I got some nice videos up on there about mothers, about fathers, about life, about just making life count. Today being Saturday matter day, Monday fun day, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday, win day. You win, and all types of stuff. Friday, my day, and Thursday, and so forth and so on. Don't want things to sound cliche and corny, but it's real. You take each day and each opportunity to do something for yourself, and then it's also an amazing thing when you can be others minded. Your boy Lamar Jamal. This is just the opening of the podcast, Four Corners, okay, and I'm asking you, show your boy some love. Let me know what's good. I'll be posting these videos on Facebook and all that other stuff. Take time to listen, man. You know what I mean? We can sit and listen and watch other things. Watch and listen to some people who are speaking some real things. And then stay with me. As I said, I'm going to be speaking live, man, coming to your city. We'll be renting out some hotels and different things there, man, and sitting down and talking about some things, some panel discussions, some hot and heavy topics, things that are going on in the community, different things that are happening that maybe doesn't make sense. You can learn from people like myself and others who've been around a little bit longer, and we'll be able to shed some insight and some different things like that into your life. Listen, as always, I love you. My prayer for you, my prayer for me is God help us all. It's your boy Lamar Jamal signing out, Four Corners Podcast. That's what's up.